Welcome back to our Dog Reactivity Training Series. In this third installment, we'll be diving into the essentials of how to socialize your puppy or adult dog, whether they're nervous, reactive, or even aggressive. We'll break down the steps to help your canine companion become more comfortable and you more confident around other dogs. As we've discussed in previous videos, dogs aren't born reactive, they're born susceptible to it, and life then teaches them that reactivity works. Typically, this would be dogs that are genetically anxious, nervous, sensitive. So it's critical that we recognize this in our dogs and help them by controlling and shaping their life experiences. In doing so, we can help build their confidence whilst reducing any anxiety they may have. This stage of a dog's training is typically called socialization, and it is usually where most problems start or stem from. The human definition of socialization means to meet, to spend time with, and enjoy yourself. So how humans translate and put socialization into practice for dogs is to go and meet and play with other dogs. Whether subconsciously or deliberately, people tend to impose the way they learn, feel, or think emotionally onto dogs. The idea that uncontrolled meetings or even free play between dogs equates to them learning to like each other has become part of the public consciousness regarding socialization of dogs. This is very much a false consciousness, and the reason it's propagated and developed is because seeing dogs run, chase, jump on each other is perceived by us as play. It's easy to do, it requires minimal effort, and as an added bonus, as humans we get to do a bit of socialization whilst drinking a coffee too. Free play between dogs doesn't automatically create healthier relationships between dogs. In these environments, they're actually learning who's faster, stronger, and indeed nastier. Think of it this way: if you want your dog to be calm, comfortable, and under control around traffic, you wouldn't let them go and play in the road. So how should we socialize our dogs? Well, a good start would be to have the mindset of familiarize rather than socialize. And the following do's, don'ts, and top tips should have you on the right track. Do have your dog around other dogs on a lead, both in passing and in groups. Control these experiences and keep them relatively brief depending on what's happening. Don't let your dog free play or be pestered by other dogs. At best, your dog will really enjoy this and it'll undermine any future efforts at obedience and control. At worst, eventually your dog is going to meet a dog that gives it a bad experience, and that could lead your dog to reactivity. Top tip number one, and this works especially well for puppies: try and use either older dogs that are docile or less energetic, or dogs that are simply not interested in other dogs, because this is going to help you engage with and shape your own dog's responses. Do keep these sessions short, preferably in passing, and any meetings brief. Don't overly distract your dog. Only do so when they're becoming too focused on the dog or dogs around them. If they're being calm and neutral, then leave them to it. They need to learn to live without your constant attention or reassurance. Do ask people to initially ignore your dog, and if they've got a dog themselves, ask them to keep it at a respectful distance. If someone wants to physically greet your dog, then make sure that it's kept brief and low-key. It's important that your dog doesn't become overstimulated by people, which can happen if they're given constant attention. Top tip number two, it's okay to say no if people ask to fuss your dog. If your dog is overstimulated by people or is anxious and fearful, then be assertive and say no, but do explain why. There are a lot of people out there that think they're dog whisperers, and look, friendship shouldn't be forced on dogs, especially nervous, sensitive dogs. Pressuring sensitive dogs, even passively, into social interactions will actually increase anxiety and fear. Do take your dog into environments that it struggles with, but keep those experiences brief and regular, and use calm praise or even food to reinforce your dog coping. Top tip number three, the energy you display to your dog should reflect the energy you want from your dog. So don't use soothing tones and words to try and calm a dog. Dogs don't understand the complexities of human words, and actually human soothing tones sound anxious to a dog. If you want to build confidence in your dog, then you should act and sound confident. Do let your dog know if they're doing something wrong. For example, jumping on other dogs or people, etc. It's okay to tell dogs off. We tell our children off. Don't get angry or stressed with your dog. Dogs pick up on energy, and your energy needs to be calm and confident. Final thought. Left to their own devices, dogs will respond to the world with their own instincts, emotions, and actions. Dogs have no inbuilt concept of social etiquette or human behaviours, and it's our responsibility to teach them what and how we want them to respond to life. Parental leadership is something that we feel strongly about when forming relationships with dogs. You can find out more about this, how and why we train reactivity in dogs, in the next video of our series. We hope you found this video informative, and if you've enjoyed it, press the like button. We've got lots of new content coming out, and if you don't want to miss that, hit the subscribe button.